But unfortunately, we got to start out on a sour note, something that really bothered me this weekend. Coming from Italy, I was disgusted, I was upset, and I got to tell you, I have no room for this at all. I could not, I repeat, I could not watch the final, the Coppa Italia, Napoli and Fiorentina, Napoli winning. But to me, I could care less who won that game, to be honest, and I'll be really brutally honest. When people are being beaten, when shots are being fired, when people cannot bring their family to watch a game, and this garbage that we're seeing is taking place, these aren't fans, these are hooligans. These are knuckleheads, these are morons. These are not fans, these are people that do not belong in any stadium worldwide at all to watch any game. You know, I got to tell you, I thought England many years ago took care of their problem with hooliganism, and they did a wonderful job. To me, there's no excuse whatsoever that this is still happening in 2014. To me, it just churns my stomach, it gets me upset, and there's no room for it at all. A sad day in Italy, a sad day in Italy, a real dark eye once again in Italian soccer. And look, you know how I enjoy watching great Italian soccer, but when you see this type of garbage taking place before a game, it's ridiculous, and it's absolutely appalling, absolutely appalling. Right now, joining us from TSN, I consider him a friend and one of the best in the business, a guy that always smiles when he does his job, Kristian Jack. Kristian, welcome again to Red Card, my friend.
Thank you to be on with you, Anthony. How are you?
I'm a little bit perplexed and upset. Before we talk MLS, Kristian, I'm pretty sure you follow what took place in my other home country of Italy, and I was disgusted, I was upset, and I didn't even want to watch the final between Napoli and Fiorentina. And I got to tell you, Kristian, you know this better than I. England had this issue many years ago, but they took care of it, and it has never returned. This is a black eye in Italy. How do the people in Italy take care of this themselves? Is it that they got to get to the ultras? Do the government got to crack down much harder? What do they got to do, Kristian?
Wow, it's a massive question. I don't have the answer. I have some ideas. I think that, first of all, they've got to recognize that it's a problem. That's one of the things. I can hear it in your voice, the sadness towards what happened at the Coppa Italia final on the weekend. But to read some reports and reviews, particularly in Italy, it's some people are celebrating what happened as a way of people having passion, obviously not with the actual incident that took place, but the fans getting involved, and this is how it should be, and talking to Marek Hamzik and everything like that. And it's just utter ludicrous. Thankfully this time it was predominantly ignited by the actions of one very disturbed man and not necessarily a pre-organized plan by thousands. But it is, as you rightly say, a real black eye on the sport in the country, and I think one of the main significant reasons why the sport and the country in its ways have been overtaken by England, by Spain, by Germany, and you could start adding other countries to that list as well. There's a lot of decaying sports stadia in those situations, and unfortunately the fans have far too much power.
And it's very sad, Kristian, because it wasn't too long ago in Serie A we were watching Platini, Zinedine Zidane, Maradona, I could go on and on, Baggio, you name it. We were enjoying games. We were enjoying Champions League finals by AC Milan, even though they went down crushingly to Liverpool in that final. But those were the great moments. And this, to me, is, again, a black eye and a black day in Italy.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It's a real shame, and it continues with just turning it onto the field in terms of poor performances. Once again, we're going to have the only 3 members of the Champions League next season. It's a real pity that that's not 4. It doesn't look like it's coming back anytime soon. And also, when you've got teams like Milan struggling, Inter Milan struggling, you've got the real giants really struggling in their own domestic league, then the onus is on other clubs to really step up and represent them in Europe. And as much as teams like Napoli, and I would throw Roma in this argument for next season, as much as they've succeeded in Italy, I don't necessarily think they're prepared to make long runs in Europe. And what that means is it just means that they're not racking up the UEFA coefficient points, so they're not going to get the fourth spot anytime soon. Same with Fiorentina. They're a nice side. They've done very well, but they're not going to be winning Europa League next season. So it's just it's a pity, and it's probably one where they need the big giants, particularly the Milan giants, to start getting their house in order a little bit there themselves and getting back to getting some quality world-class players.